Hello students, your instructor here, John Mandiola, with another screencast. This one using Photoshop to make some 3D shapes. When you're in Photoshop and you want to make something 3D, what you do is you start out with just a layer. And that layer can be anything. It can be a photo, it can be some rasterized text, or in this case it could just be solid color. We'll do solid color, just keep it simple. Your imagination can run wild after that. When we go here, start with a red layer. And I have this as a background layer, just some nice gray backdrop for things to go against. I get this layer selected, I'm going to go to 3D. And I have a number of different options for 3D. The first one I'm going to do is 3D postcard from layer. This is literally like a postcard, which is a 3D real thing, and exists in space. And what we're going to do is go to our 3D rotate tools. I'm going to rotate this thing in 3D space like this. And it might not seem all that amazing, but you can't do this realistically otherwise. You have to fake it. And I can use this tool to scale it down, make it smaller, so I can see more of it. And again, I can rotate this in 3D.
Hello, is this Jessica?
This is real, or at least real enough 3D. I can rotate it around and things like this.
Good. Well, and did you get a hold of?
So you might get some warning that says, "Oh, your computer's not able to do 3D," but just say OK to it. So that's a postcard. All right, we can turn that off for now. Let's go to the blue layer and turn that on. We'll go to 3D, new shape from layer, and maybe what I'm going to try is something like, let's go to cone. It just renders this 3D cone for me. And here again, oops, this is enlarging or shrinking the cone, and now I can rotate this cone like so. Now you might think to yourself, well, that's kind of a boring cone, you know, maybe my cone could have some kind of stripes or something on it. Well, let's try that. If you want to edit what kind of the color of the layer after the fact, notice that your 3D, once your layers become 3D, it's way different looking. I can just open up blue layer here by double clicking on it, and it'll open up a PSB file. And in this case, maybe I want to add a new layer, and I'm going to use my marquee selection tool and fill this with just solid white. I can deselect that, move tool, and just Alt Shift drag a bunch of copies like so. And then take all of these and align them up, and then I'm going to merge them together. And I'll save that and say yes. Now I can see that my my cone looks quite different than what I thought it was going to. Now it has a whole new different look. It can interact differently. So this is another 3D object. You can see, you know, next to that one, this one can be moved around. It can be moved around all different kinds of ways. It can never actually be behind it though, because it's on a layer above it. So that's kind of one of the limitations in Photoshop 3D. It's kind of like 2.5D they call it. That's that. Now let's edit a yellow shape, like the yellow layer. Go to 3D, and maybe in this case what I want to do is something like soda can. Actually it'll render out a soda can for me. And again, I can do things like move this around. Oops. You know, I can roll it like this. Stuff like that. I can rotate the can. I can put words on the cans, or do that. I can open up the yellow layer. I can put words on here. Text tools. And maybe choose something like fizzy. Come on. Fizz pop. And I'll go here and I'll set this to be auto, and then set, oh, rid of that. And set this maybe to be 100, nope, 110, nope, 120, perfect. Got that on there, and I can either flatten that down or just leave it as a layer, that's fine. Go there, save it, yes. And now, as you can see, it's like a real soda graphic, wraps all the way around. This kind of thing. You can also do animating of any of your 3D things in a 3D or 2.5D space. So have fun playing around with some different 3D shapes in Photoshop, or check my other video to do 3D shapes in Illustrator. That's all I got. Goodbye.